RWB is the name of a truly perfect legend. One mysterious practitioner demonstrates a unique talent for bringing out the potential hidden in something others have underestimated. This practitioner's work, and moreover this practitioner's methods, are seen by his constituents as something ranging from taboo to sacrilege, and should a zealot seek the help of this practitioner, they must offer the sacrifice of a rare and treasured artifact. When the process is complete, there is objection, and the artifact is consumed. The zealot themselves emerge forever changed by the process. The world will never be the same. And for better or worse, the world will never view the zealot the same. I'm no zealot when it comes to Porsches, nor RWBs, but if there's ever a way to evangelize me, the keys and specific instructions to drive it like my Subaru is as good a start as any.
Let's see what it sounds like.
This is too cool.
Wow.
That said, this would be the second vehicle I'd ever steered from the wrong side of the car, and in a country where I can't read any of the road signs. So before building any boost in the car, I took a moment to remember which way U-turns went and learn what kind of manners the RWB had on the roads of southern Thailand.
That. Well, here we are in maybe the world's only rally build smooth fender turbo RWB 964. Gotta love stock height cars. This is how you should build stuff. You don't need to build it so that it breaks if you run over a leaf. Do not trust these. The one thing I've learned about Thailand is these passing marks have zero correlation with whether or not it is anywhere near safe to pass. There's been like solid lines for dead straight flat parts for a kilometer or so, and there's also been dotted lines for like 5 feet before a completely blind hill and corner. So I keep thinking like, oh, they mean I can pass, which is not true at all.
Anyway, now that I'd confirmed every area of Thailand from Bangkok to Phuket was indeed a driving free-for-all, I could pay a bit more attention to the quirks of this car. And as quirks go, this car didn't exactly require Doug DeMuro to find some.
I'm noticing a few classic sports car-isms. So the steering column is actually centered a couple inches to the left of where the center of the seat is. There's no dead pedal for the clutch, so I just sort of, and I don't really know why that would be the case, because it almost looks like there's a dead pedal for the gas, but there's not, it's just the wheel well. But yeah, oh damn. Oh, he's getting it.
He's aerodynamic.
Getting it.
Streamlined.
Speed machine. I was driving a CRV yesterday.
Don't knock the CRV.
CRV is very comfortable and practical. This is none of those things, but it is very, very, very cool.
It's no secret that my definition of cool is more that of a 5-year-old than someone who can afford something like this, but I stand by it because while the taste of a 5-year-old doesn't come with the benefit of knowing any better, it stands to be, for that same reason, something worth listening to. As far as the outside world was concerned, this $500,000 unicorn passed the test. We got some honks from bus drivers, plenty of entranced looks from onlookers, and even the holy grail of cool car validation.
Even in Thailand, it's always the fucking Civics.
A Honda Civic flyby. As for my experience on the inside, This RWB was clearly built to be used and stands for everything that gives me joy in any car. When one of the first things the owner told me was do not slow down for speed bumps, followed by showing me the weapons he keeps in the backseat for road rallies, I knew he was saying the speed bumps part with a true pride in having built more than a pretty thing. He and I are genuine fans of this car, and even if it was someone else's, I bet he would be just as happy that it exists at all, and that someone out there is using it not like a Le Mans prototype, not like a Formula go-kart, but like a car. But as cool as it was on the outside, and as exciting as it felt on the inside, there was a problem. Unfortunately, it was the kind of problem that meant despite finding myself on the other side of the planet with the chance to experience my perfect version of the RWB legend, I would ultimately have to walk away from the car with few answers, if any, and more questions than ever before. Well, here we are, back in the garage. You might have noticed the wardrobe change, which I did not do for effect, but it's actually the next day. And the reason we're back here, apart from getting one last look at this car that I won't see for quite some time after this, is to make good on what I was told to do yesterday and did not follow through with, which is drive this car like your Subaru, end quote, the owner. Now, when we went out yesterday, a keen eye might have been able to tell this car just wasn't running right. As I leaned into throttle and built a little bit of boost, it was stumbling quite a lot and misfiring onward.
It's breaking up for sure.
And I had my suspicions that it was running quite rich, so I was not interested in pushing my luck in this of all vehicles. So I was just making sure that it got to the locations that we were going to, could do the flybys that we needed, and nothing more, because I wanted it to be back in this spot in one piece as soon as possible. However, when we got back and I explained my concerns, the owner got in the passenger seat for a ride and assured me to sort of always done that, and said if I wanted, to bring the car out again the next night without worrying so much about stretching its legs. Did it go well? No. Should I have done it? Absolutely not. But did it happen? Yes, and here's how it went.
All right, let's try this again. So, since yesterday, I got a few pointers. Step one, still the same. Don't remember hearing that yesterday. Lights on. When I asked about the giant exclamation points, I was told there's a button which you press that just turns it off. Maybe this is normal in the Porsche world. This is not something I'm used to. I wish I had this in my Subaru, but if we just go over here, you'll see a large exclamation point, and you just say no. So I guess I told the car to go fuck itself. We got a Fantastic Four logo, which is for I have no idea. And what it seems is that this car's tune works a lot better at full throttle than it does near full throttle. So I think that's all I need to go out with my worries at ease about the car and give her the beans. Shall we?
One other thing I learned the night before is that Thailand does in fact border a lovely little stretch of Mexico.
Fantastic. Give her the beans. I gotta check and see if it blew the muffler off of the pipe. It's very loud, but the gauges all show the right thing. Ah, God, one day I will experience you, car, but that day will now be after I can afford you.
So as it turned out, my suspicions about the tune in the car were correct, and it was running so rich that given the right circumstances and temperature, it blew its own headers apart with how much extra fuel was going into the exhaust. Luckily, not a catastrophic failure this time, but it did bring me very quickly back to the last time I reviewed someone else's modified car and found myself purchasing them an engine mount. The positive to come out of this is that the owner is a busy guy and didn't actually realize that for 4 years this car has had more to give. So since we wrapped filming, he sent it off to a tuner, and I have a feeling that when it comes back, he's gonna have that much more reason to be his car's biggest fan. Anyway, it wasn't in the cards this time, but we'll meet again someday.
Oh yeah. Well, there's your problem.